All right, then. All right, let's move straight to our next issue. Since independence in 1960, Nigeria has witnessed political transformation, all in its struggle to attain greatness and fulfill the dreams of the founding fathers. So, how far, how well in this journey to nationhood? BKO.
Yeah, we have been on a long journey to proper statehood. I always talk about how things were in the First Republic, when Nigeria was at par with countries like Brazil, Singapore, Malaysia. We were at the same level. Today, everyone has left us behind because Nigerian leaders have simply not done enough. Had military rule, we've had civilian administrations, but no one would deny that we are where we ought to be. We are not where we ought to be. We should be rubbing shoulders with the Malaysians of this world, the Brazils of this world. Brazil is producing aircraft. Yes. Brazil is producing luxury buses.
Yeah, the Marco Polo.
You know? Because, so why couldn't we get to that level? Bad leadership. Good leaders take the plunge on behalf of their nation. And as I've said in the past, a decision may not necessarily be popular. That doesn't mean it's not the best decision for a people. For many Nigerians, for example, to allow subsidy to continue will have been the best decision. But this president felt, look, enough is enough. A decision that successive military administrations didn't have the courage to take. He decided to take it. Now we're having stability. So when you look at our political evolution,
Yes.
many will argue that if we had left the political leaders that we had in the First Republic, if we had left them alone, they will make mistakes, but things will stabilize in the final analysis. Because one of the enablers of the progress that we've made in the Fourth Republic is the fact that the Fourth Republic has not been imperiled in any way by military incursion. Mistakes have been made, but things are getting better. Frankly, when you look at the progress that we've made between 1999 and now, the program has been tremendous. The president was talking about the number of universities that we now have. Across all sectors, you can see even the number of TV stations that we now have. How many did we have back then? So in terms of even deepening freedom of expression, we have made progress. Because when we had the military rule, you cannot abuse a leader just like that and get away with it. Who dares abuse Abacha in public? Even those who were criticizing the regime, some of those who were much older than him, he got them arrested and locked up.
True.
People like Bola Ige, who described Abacha's 5 political parties as 5 fingers of a leprous hand. He detained the old man. And there are many people like that. They were not concerned about your age. They detained you if they felt threatened. But today, people can say what they like about a president and even call him a criminal, despite the fact that he has never been convicted. And they get away with it. That is to tell you that at least under the civilian dispensation, people's rights are not going to be abridged. And if your rights are abridged, you have the courts. If Al-Mustafa will pick you up, how are you going to be thinking of going to court?
It's not possible.
Al-Mustafa, will he watch you abuse an Abacha? Except you want to die. Those who didn't even abuse Abacha publicly, some of them paid with their lives.
Or the DMI, Omenka.
That's the man who popularized. He and this man from Kogi State, Okutimo. Okutimo said he knew dozens of ways to kill a man. But publicly. Publicly, well reported. I've been in a discussion where people were talking about freedom, that, oh, freedoms are being taken away. You know, all this unnecessary raising of alarm. Which freedom are they taking away? Now, today, people can sit in front of a camera, record themselves, abuse the president, lie against the president. Like one guy from northern Nigeria who claimed that President Tinubu had a blending plant in Malta. He did a video and shared to people that the president had a blending plant, that he was stealing Nigerian crude oil. Only for the oil company that owned that blending plant to come out to say the blending plant belonged to us. They promoted the fake news that it belonged to Oando. Even some journalists that I respected, some of them were telling me that, no, it belongs to Oando, and the presidency is covering it. He got away with lying because nobody has arrested him. He lied against the president. So this president is like a sitting duck that people just fire at when they think it makes sense. So in many ways, we have transited from bad to good. And I believe that democracy is still the best for Nigeria because we have made tremendous progress. Lagos light rail, it was not there before. Yes, some of the giant roads that we have now, including the Third Mainland Bridge, were projects of the military.
Sure.
But in that era, Nigeria had so much money, the kind of money that we do not have access to now. But when you look at the whole, look at everything across sectors, you see that we made progress. In 1979, Shagari was elected president. He had only 34% of the votes. Some people make so much noise about the fact that Bola Tinubu had 37% of the vote in the last election, as if that was the first time it ever happened anywhere in the world. But what democracy emphasizes is the person who had the most votes. They are not saying you must get the overwhelming support of all Nigerians. They are looking for the person who had the highest number of votes.
Okay.
So this is the thing. Back then, the 1979 election was also competitive. And where you have elections that are competitive, one person cannot dominate the election, whoever is called more than 50%. No.
Okay.
It's, by nature, it's competitive. So you see everyone will get something significant. Obi got something significant. Atiku got something significant. The president who defeated them all got something significant. Well, you are saying, oh, majority of Nigerians. No, they don't have to be. Even if you are talking about majority of Nigerians, how many people came to vote on election day? Do you then say an election is useless because of the number of people who came to vote?
All right, gentlemen, we need to go on this break. And Adewale Ade, when we return, because given us that foundation, Nigeria's democracy, it's a work in progress, the political evolution. But what the biggest political reforms Nigeria still needs to complete its democratic evolution from good to better to the best?
For me, I think Nigeria is like a building, very beautiful building. But then you have to look at the foundation. Because we are talking about this country, you have to look at how we came together. You know, when the British first came in 1851, took over Lagos in 1861. By the time Nigeria came in 1914, the ethnic groups were forced together as a country. Well, nations can be brought together by cohesion. And then you can build through that cohesion by engaging in consensus. And I think the British made an attempt to do that with various constitutional conferences since 1922.
Okay.
And in 1959, when they were leaving, about to leave, they came with the Wellington Commission of Inquiry.
The Willings.
The Wellington Commission, which they went around all over the countries, people to express their feelings, how they actually want to be governed in Nigeria. I have a copy of that book, you know, and a lot of people preferred self-determination to be on there. They wanted Nigeria, yes, but then they were talking about regional interests, that the system should protect their interests. And I think in 1946, when we had federalism, it was born out of the study of the kind of configuration of ethnic forces in Nigeria, that the best system should be a federal system of government, where there will be shared sovereignty, there will be division of power, and then there will be protection of regional interests because of the diversity of the country. And I think it was on this basis that we had three confederations, three regions, you know, as at 1960. And you could see that at that time, each was developing on its own pace until 1966, when that coup of 1966 was staged. And then Decree 34 of 1966 was introduced, which, you know, forced, you know, the various divisions into one country, merged the civil service, and then created a garrison state.
I think it was a unitary system.
Yeah, it was a unitary system. So I think that was where our problem started. Like Babajide said, if we had continued with that regional system, where each region had its own constitution, had its own even foreign missions, you know, had its own police, I think we would have been able to go far.
There was a healthy rivalry.
You know, but unfortunately, the military began to create a lot of garrison structures, you know, centralized system, and that for 27 years, I think that actually set back Nigeria, you know, to the cesspool of ruin. And we are just getting out of that now. And I believe that since 1999, one of the greatest achievements we have made is that there is civilian to civilian transition without military coups. He mentioned Brazil and also India and Singapore. One major characteristic of these countries is that the lack of military intervention. You know, in India, there's not been any military intervention, and the one that happened in Brazil was a very long time ago. So there have been a kind of stability. Not that they don't have problems. Even in Brazil, now they still have continual problems, taking the former president to court and all that. But civilian government and corruption, but civilian government, the worst of civilian government is far better than the best of military rule.
Yes.
So I think that for people who don't have experience of military rule, they should go and read about it. Some of us never had the experience of, you know, the First and Second World War. We read about it.
Yes.
But people are too lazy. They don't realize that under military rule, you know, constitution is suspended. There is no engagement of those that are dealing you. You cannot talk of EFCC arresting anybody under military rule. You cannot even ask the leaders to come and account for the budget. They don't present the budget.
Yes.
They just run the state at their own whims and caprices. So, and you cannot talk. You cannot challenge the system. By 1993, we had only one private TV stations. Now they are uncountable.
Yes.
We had only one private radio stations. You know, by 1993. Now we can't. The one in Lagos, I can't even count them. So the liberalism, the freedom, you know, the freedom of choice that democracy brings to the people, there is nothing that can replace it.
And
so
that's
I think
why we must do our best to make sure
to protect the system, you know, not about individuals, but for our strategic interests, we must protect the democratic structures, irrespective of all the challenges that we have. So I think one of the major things that we need to do now is to look about the prospect of having a restructured country. And I'm happy that the president was able to talk about state policing. I think that would be a major step in our, you know, search for statehood.
I mean, he talked about the military incursion taking us years back. Your thoughts on this?
Yes, in many ways. In many ways, the military set Nigeria back. Their own internal struggle for power cost Nigeria some of its best brains in the armed forces. They will just, sometimes, people that they do not like, they will round them up and claim that they planned a coup. For example, 1995, there was no coup.
The phantom coup.
There was no coup. Even their own internal committees that were set up to...
tribunal.
No, not tribunal. Okay. Internal committees.
Okay, internal committees. Okay.
To first to look at the allegations and come back. They returned a verdict and there was no coup. But they still kept these people there. People like Obasanjo, for example. Obasanjo did not know anything, but they accused him of plotting a coup. They lied against him. He was thrown into Yola prisons. People like Yaradua, Sheikh Musa Yaradua, Abacha badly wanted to deal with him. Accused him of plotting to take over the government. Invariably, he died in their hands. These are the things that you do not see at this time. Look at the ridiculous person who said, they are throwing people into jail. And they asked him, okay, who has been thrown into jail? And he was tongue-tied. In the military, during the military era, suspicion that you are not loyal can cost you your life.
Exactly.
And that was when we had for the first time that you do not need to execute a coup. That the mere conception of the idea in your heart. How many? Yes, and then my boss, Dakwalo Yomi, said, you say thinking about it alone, you are guilty. He said, okay, how many thoughts go through a man's mind in a day?
Absolutely.
How do you take a life because somebody was thinking about something?